I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a little bit of a treat for you. After 2 weeks of searching and 3 orders canceled online, we were able to track one down via Guns GDC. We want to thank them again for pulling one, setting it aside, and not charging us extortion prices. The Glock COA A Cut Gen 5. Now these just became extremely scarce when Glock pulled the sale of this from the civilian market. There's a lot of theories out there why that happened. We unfortunately don't know all of the details. Big things about the gun that I find pretty cool. The Glock 19 A Cut is specifically designed to take the aim point COA. Now this COA is a 3.5 MOA dot. The controls on the red dot itself, plus to brighten, minus to turn it down. And then holding that minus button will shut the dot off completely. There are night vision settings in the dot itself. Side load, standard CR 2032 battery in this guy. We have our windage on that side, elevation on this side. Unfortunately, it is a star bit, so you can't get in there with a casing to turn it up or down, left or right. Really crisp 3.5 MOA dot in here. What makes this kind of unique in the mounting of the optic to the pistol is that it is done through the rear sight here. There's 2 small set screws in there, and basically the front of the optic will wedge into the upper slide through the A cut, and then we torque down on the back sight here to hold the dot in place. So no more running screws through the optic itself into the slide. There are multiple heights of sights for this gun. We unfortunately were stuck with the ones that are in the low, I wouldn't even call it a lower third co-witness. They're really shallow when the dot is on there, but they are blacked out front, blacked out rear, which I prefer to have if I have a dot. I don't want more dots in there when I'm looking for a small red dot through an optic window. The Glock Gen 5 slide stop on both sides for you lefties out there. A little bit of a flared magwell, which is nice. This is a good touch that's becoming more popular with manufacturers as years have progressed. We don't necessarily need to buy aftermarket magwells for our guns anymore because they come standard. You have your standard 1913 pick rail for your lights and our front slide serrations. Trigger on the gun, it's actually pretty good. Trigger feels good and crisp. It's a nice trigger. I've been running a Gen 3 Glock for a long time, and I think it's about time I changed the trigger out. We're probably 20,000 rounds into that gun so far. So we're gonna hit the range now and tell you what we think about how the gun shoots and performs through some different testing, shooting a couple actually drills, speed and dot transitions, and then we will be right back.
That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep.
Out of the box, supposed to be zeroed or close to. We're just gonna give it a test run, 10 yards, shoot a little, what are these, IPSC targets, IDPA, something like that. That is pretty darn good there. So 10 yards out of the box, COA comes pretty close to zero. We will move back now to the 25 and make sure everything's tightened up. Call it a zero confirmation, but so far seems to be pretty accurate out of the box. Aim point Glock. We'll just go A zone here. Cool, 3-shot group, real good. Let's go check it. So not that I'm expecting like super crazy accuracy out of it. It's a OEM Glock barrel. Maybe later we'll drop in a Radiant Afterburner and see what it does. So 25 yards, decent little 3-shot group there.
Yeah! Yeah!
Out of the box, pretty darn zeroed. I don't feel like I gotta make adjustments because I'm not gonna be able to shoot them any better than that. So now we're going to go back and we will talk about speed and dot acquisition.
I'm out of my pocket, Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me elevate.
All right, so actually out of the box, really good. Didn't have to make any adjustments to the gun. The sight, it comes out of the box, 10 yards, held really good groups. Initial impressions of the trigger, it's a Glock trigger. It's brand new Glock trigger, feels like any other one you would ever shoot. Red dot, we weren't getting a lot of flip where the dot was leaving that window. And we're doing slow shooting. So now we're gonna step out to the range and we're gonna shoot some more speed drills. So we'll work on some doubles and then bill drills from the holster and check and see what that dot does as we start to ramp our speed a little bit. Let's hit the range.
I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business, but some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket.
We're gonna shoot a couple doubles now, and what we're looking for is what is the dot doing in the window? So ideally, when we are shooting a dot, we don't want the dot to leave our eye line, so when the gun recoils, I can still maintain visual of the dot, and I like to have that happen all the time because it allows me to then track the dot rather than having to find the dot again, line it up, and shoot my follow-up shot. So we're at 7 yards here. We're just gonna shoot some doubles, and then I will be able to tell you what the dot is doing here from the high ready. Cool. So shooting Glocks for a long time now, they all do pretty much the same thing in my hand. It's nice to have that larger window on here, taller I should say. So my RMR window, most of the open emitters are a little bit wider so they stick off the sides of the frame. This thing's pretty slicked out. Taller window, the dot is not leaving my eye line, which is good. And that also comes down to grip and fundamentals, right? But shooting good groups, and I'm able to keep that dot in my eye line more than when I'm just shooting rapidly with a smaller window, and I can tend to lose that once in a while, and then I gotta line it up again. So I do like the height on this a little bit better. So now we are going to shoot a couple doubles just from the draw. So the draw and then getting the gun up to track where the dot comes into my eye line from the draw standby. And we'll go on the clock because why not? Cool, 168. Not a terrible time from the draw. Let's go one more. Okay, 157. Shaved a 10th off there. Cool. All right, now we're gonna just roll right into a bill drill. Why not? 259, slow as molasses, but a decent group there. Pretty pleased with that. Cool. So 6 shots, 259. Not too bad. I like the way that the dot tracks up and down. Feels really good. So we'll go back to the studio. Felt like the dot stayed in the window and in my eye line more than the more narrow dot. So I shoot RMR, been using it for years. There's a tendency for that RMR with a smaller vertical window on there to lose that dot a little bit quicker. Did not run into an issue with this at all. Feels really good. I'm keeping the dot in my eye line, and as we mentioned, we want that to happen because we are removing a step from sighting in on a target. If the dot leaves the window, now I have to find the dot again in the window and then the target, as opposed to I'm shooting the target and the dot stays in my eye line. I know what I'm looking for and I see it already, so bam, I can make a faster follow-up shot. So I do like the height on the window itself. I think that lends to keeping the dot in my eye line a little bit better. So now we're gonna talk dot transition. So how does the dot transition left and right? And then we're gonna do a little bit of shooting and moving. So we're gonna run a couple L presses from the holster, and then we're gonna shoot some speed on the move with the COA. Let's hit the range. So I bumped the brightness of the dot up. We talked about having to do that. We're gonna run an L pres, and what I'm looking for there is all of it. So we're gonna put it all together from the draw to our doubles, then our dot transition tracking. So we'll go on the clock here, see how she transitions. Time 780. Ooh, we burned it in there. 780. Smoky Joe out here. Burner on the Charlie. Good group there. We have 4 good alphas here. That felt really good. I was actually seeing that one better than this one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 alphas there. So let's talk dot transitioning. As I'm moving through the targets, that more narrow of a window than what I'm used to is not a big deal. So the COA, similar to an acro, tracks just fine. And I'm actually seeing that vertical rise and fall from the recoil pretty easily on this. So it's a Glock. If you've ever shot a Glock, it transitions like a Glock. Let's talk flared magwell. Reload felt pretty smooth there. I like when manufacturers are doing this now. I really do. So super cool. Awesome. Dot transitions very, very well. Now I'm going to set up a little bit of a run and gun IPSC stage to close out our range day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total targets. 2 hits on each. We got 2, 3 hostage shots. We're gonna go barrel to barrel to barrel, shooting on the move, include a reload, a couple of target transitions, and watching our dot. Press checks are always free. Time 13:93. Let's go check them. Oh, hang on. There's a bug on that target. Got him. Booyah. 13:93. 2 alpha. Nice. 2 alpha. Nice. 2 alpha here. As far as the dot is concerned, turn that brightness up a little bit. We dropped those 2 out, but I would call those pretty good, and we didn't hit the hostage, so that's cool. Nice group here. Not too shabby. It tracks really nice. I like the dot, even shooting and moving, not losing it. So throttle my speed as much as I can these days. 2 alpha on that guy. I didn't feel like I had to like throttle way down to find that dot again. That was a good shot, that one. It's okay. So depending on where that first one hit would be game over. 13:93 was the time, but I shot the bug off the target. I don't know if he's down here or not. He might be long gone. He might be gone, but that's it. I like the gun. I think that this Glock is pretty cool. Let's get that cleared out. I like the design of it. I'm actually kind of bummed out that they stopped the sale to civilians, and I understand if it's a supply and demand thing, but it kind of sucks because it's a cool design. Doesn't mean that you can't build this exact gun out pretty much. No, you can without that A cut in there. It's just, it would be an acro footprint on there. The issue was the acro battery life. So I like the recoil impulse of the gun. I like the dot tracking. I think the whole package together is really good. Let's go back to the studio to close it out.
Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's why
I like the gun. I think the idea and the design behind it was really good. And unfortunately now with that cancellation of civilian sales, the price is gonna jump probably outside of what people are comfortable paying for this gun and this setup that it currently comes in. At the original price point, I think it's a good deal. Out of the box, it's accurate. We didn't have to make any adjustments. 10 yards, holding really good groups. Dot tracks really well. So if I was a new gun owner and I'm like, I got to get a new pistol, this is kind of a out of the box, no hassle option. Unfortunately, it no longer exists in that realm for right now. Hopefully they get this all figured out and Glock can start manufacturing and producing these at a rate which would keep up with the demand. So when we talk about the size of their aim points, 3.5 and my Trigicon's a 3.25, but the size of the actual window of the optics themselves doesn't really seem to be hindering me after years of shooting this Trigicon here. So I didn't feel like I was missing out on that, the size of the window when it came to the width of it with this gun. This has a little bit of a taller window in it too. So being that it's taller, I thought it was actually easier shooting the doubles and the bill drill. I was able to keep the dot in the window more. Should you feel like you're missing out that you didn't get one? I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because while it is a good platform, I don't see a huge difference in benefits from the COA to building out your own Glock 19 with a red dot on it. And with this COA, you are limited to the option of this aim point. With this Glock Gen 3, I'm limited with the Trigicon RMR here because it was cut for that. Now, if you go Gen 4, Gen 5 MOS, you can get different plates for any red dot you want. So say you want to run a 6 MOA dot, you like a larger dot on there, or a smaller dot, you want to get a 1 MOA RMR on there, you have that option to do so. And I don't feel like there's anything about this gun that really goes above and beyond what you can build on your own. And it just takes a little research to understand what plates and dots you want to buy. Try it before you buy it kind of thing. Go to a gun range and check it out. But that's it. And we are going to do more shooting with the COA. And once we hit that 1,000 round mark on this guy, I will give you my AAR, my after action review of what I think the absolute pros and cons of this gun are. And we may even torture test it if we feel so inclined. I hate beating up guns that are super expensive like this, but it is what it is and we do it for you guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.
Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this.